I finally got one. Sometimes guitars, they find you. All of a sudden they're there and they go, oh, okay, yeah, that was it. That was the one that was meant for me. I don't know, you might not be as excited as I am. I love old guitars. I love old, original, slightly tatty guitars. I mean, you wouldn't be accepted in this day and age, would it? You'd go, what? A bit of blowback there. I hope I don't break something. Should I just leave it alone? Guitaristas is proudly supported by Gear for Music. Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. I finally got one. You might have heard me say in the past that sometimes guitars find you. I've always thought that some of the guitars that I've been lucky enough to acquire over the years, yeah, you know, the special ones, not the ones you can just go and buy, you know, on the online. I was going to say on the high street, but you know, that's getting tricky, isn't it? No, the special ones, vintage ones, really, or ones that are a little bit older, little bit special, got a little bit of mojo. They find you, and if you're out there looking hard enough, they find you. But this one, really, you know, I mean, it came out of the blue, and this was meant for me. I'll tell you a little bit more about it later, when I've showed you what it is, because I know you're keen to find out straight away, and I'm keen to get into it and have a deep dive look, really, because I literally only picked it up like yesterday. So let me show you what it is, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. And I'm such a tease. Okay, here you go. It's a Les Paul Deluxe. It's a 1974 Les Paul Deluxe. Look at that, in the cherry sunburst. Let's get rid of the, original case, isn't it? Feast your eyes on that. I don't know, you might not be as excited as I am. I love old guitars. I love old, original, slightly tatty guitars. 1974 this. We're going to try and prove that later. We'll have a look and date the pots and stuff, because I'm going to do a full deep dive, because there's a lot of things we need to know. This is a player's grade guitar, okay? So I got it for a good price. It's had a headstock break. You can see it's been done ages ago. I know a little bit about the history of this guitar, but you can see it's been done, and it's been repainted, and a bit of a loss of the serial number there. So the serial number's not exactly clear, but you can date it by the pots and various other bits and bobs. I'm not going to go into the history of Les Paul Deluxes today. There's a brilliant short history of Les Paul Deluxes on 5 Watt World. Keith there's done a brilliant film with all the history of this particular model. The Deluxe was made 1969 till 1982. If you want to find out a little bit more about that, link to 5 Watt World in the description box. But what we're going to do is, I suppose we'll review it, really. We'll do what we normally do with guitars. But on this occasion, this is not a guitar that you can actually buy, or not this exact one anyway. But you might want to consider looking for one yourself, mightn't you? I can't stop looking at it. This guitar, so it found me. Some kind of spooky JuJu. That's what we say, isn't it? I've mentioned that I've been looking for one of these for a while, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, one day, about 4 or 5 months ago, an old mate of mine, we'll call him Dave, because that's his name. Out of the blue, Dave phoned me. I was in a band with Dave it was about 1984, 1985. We did some gigs together. And I got, all of a sudden, you know, I haven't seen him since then. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got a call from him. He'd seen the channel and actually he still lives locally. So give me a call. And we had a real nice catch-up, nice chat. Started talking about guitar. He's a guitar nerd. He's got a nice collection of old Gretches and stuff like that, and a couple of old Gibsons and stuff. So we're having a nice little chinwag. And then he says, "Oh yeah, and I've got a Les Paul Deluxe as well." Going, okay, now I'm interested. Have you? 1974. He said, "I think it's 1974." He said, "I'm not sure because you know the serial number's a little bit mucked up." But oh, maybe you can come and have a look and help me identify, you know, date it properly. I said, yeah, I'm up for that. So yeah, I went over to his and we had a look, and I've dated it by the pots. I'll show you in a minute, and various other things. You can tell from things like the way that the logo is on Gibsons. So anyway, we had a look at it, and I had a play and plugged it in. I go, oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice. Do you want to sell it? And he wasn't sure he did. So that was several months ago. We kept in touch, and eventually he phoned me just a couple of weeks ago actually, and said, yeah, you can have that if you want. So we agreed to what I think is a reasonable price, and she's mine. Thanks, Dave. You know I appreciate this, and I know you miss it, but you can come over and you know. Spend some time with it anytime you want, mate. So I've got a Les Paul Deluxe. Now, these are known for being really heavy, aren't they? So I haven't done this yet. Let's weigh it and find out what this one weighs. Now, it's not light. These are said to all be 10, 11 pound, these things, aren't they? I don't think it's that heavy. Yeah, it's a lightweight one. It's £9 8 ounces. Well, it's 4.33 kilos still. But I thought that when I first picked it up, when I went to have a look at it, I thought, well, that's not that heavy, is it? 9.8. Hey. So yeah, 1968, I think it was, when Gibson reintroduced the Les Paul into their catalogue, into their lineup. They first released it with P90s, and then very quickly, 1969, they changed them to humbuckers, although they used mini humbuckers because they could fit them into the existing routes of bodies that they'd already had, really. So cheapskates, as always. That was an interesting time with Gibson because they were going through various changes. One of the biggest differences with this model from the earlier ones was the way they made it, the construction. This is what's known as the pancake body construction. I'll do some close-ups of this so you can see. But you've got 2 layers of mahogany split with a very thin layer of maple going down the middle there. And it's got a maple cut, but as you can see, they didn't care much about book matching it or anything. And this particular one is 2, 3, 4, it's 5 pieces. It's actually quite attractive, that. I'm thinking it's quite, hang on that there. It's quite uniform anyway, isn't it? But yeah, you'll see some great old famous guitars. I mean, you wouldn't be accepted in this day and age, would it? You go, what? You know, but you know, in the 70s was an interesting time. 74. What we're going to do is take it apart, and I'll show you how we can date it by the pot codes. I've mentioned the logo. It's basically, I'll share my, it's not a secret, I got this from a Gibson Les Paul book by Tony Bacon. But the logo, the top of the B and the O, yeah, you can see that, they're joined up. You can see that, they're joined. That was something that was introduced, oh, God, I wish I had the book handy, because in fact, I'm going to stop trying to explain that now, because the info hasn't really sunk in properly yet, and I haven't got the book handy to confirm what I'm saying is correct. So suffice to say, I authenticated this logo with the Les Paul book by Tony Bacon, or whatever it's called. I'll put a link to that in the description box as well, because you might want to check that out. But this is apparently right for 1974. They changed it again in 1975. So the other thing about these is they have a little bit of a volute on the headstock here. I'm wondering if that's been a bit shaved off that actually, since it's had a repair. The repair's around there. I'm going to try and blacklight it in a minute and see if we can see that. But first off, let's have a look at the neck profile and measurements on the screen now. Okay, here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. So this guitar's definitely had a refret. You can tell that straight away because there are no fret nibs. The fret nibs are gone, and there definitely would have been fret nibs on these. So it was refretted with fairly chunky wire, that, isn't it? Here you go, here's a couple of close-ups for you. Chunky old wire, there's quite a bit of wear left in them. They have been used. I should have added, incidentally, that my mate Dave hadn't really played this. He's owned it for, I think it was about 23 years. And it's been in its case on top of his wardrobe ever since, gathering dust. In fact, I insisted that he didn't dust off the case when he sold it to me. Although, to be fair, it was so dusty, I had to do it before I filmed it earlier. But yeah, so it had been had been in the case since he bought it. And the provenance, he knew the guy he bought it off, and I know the guy he bought it off as well, from back in the day when we were in bands. Apparently he'd bought it, the previous owner had bought it in New York in, I think it was 1995, he said. So, and used it, so he'd been using it, he'd probably used it for a decade before he sold it, or thereabouts, before he sold it to Dave. The wear, I don't know if the wear came, is that gonna fall off that bridge? No. So it's got some lovely wear at some point, but this was all done probably up to around about the year 2000. It had been played a lot, obviously, abused, used and abused. I love this about old guitars. I don't know, it's just me maybe, but there's just something about it. You can't fake it. There's a really subtle, look at that. Look at that wear. I hope the camera's picking that up. If they don't, I'll do a close-up. But there's a little subtle wear there. Just is where it's worn through, where it's been played. You can't fake that. You couldn't. It's like, it's just gradually worn away. It's definitely got the original knobs. It's all original. I put a black light on it. I'm going to do that in a minute, but you won't be able to see all of that properly, probably. But it's all original, apart from the frets. And yeah, the headstock, look, lovely 70s headstock, which is larger than the current ones. The tuners are stamped Gibson Deluxe, and they've got these double ring. They all seem to work all right. They're all a bit wobbly. We'll find out. We'll put new strings on in a minute and find out if they might need replacing. I mean, obviously, when you get I'm going to call it a vintage guitar, isn't it? When you get a vintage guitar, you might have to fix things. As far as I could tell, this was all completely functional. These didn't even scratch, no scratchy pots or anything. All worked great. So, yeah, bridge, right? Let's have a look at the bridge. Am I going to be able to pull that off? It's quite stiff. Right. I'm going to have to reset all the action now again. It's clearly original. Oh, look, Gibson ABR1. That's got a patent number on the bottom of that. It's quite like that. Brass saddles. and it's got a wire holding those in place. Now this is interesting. It's got the thumb wheel screws, and she's going to take that one off. And now these posts, they go directly into the body. And what what people used to do is add an additional thumb wheel like that, like exactly what they've done here, just to give it a little bit more, just make it a bit more secure, because you've got a metal post going directly into a maple cap there. And it's a little bit wobbly, see? So people put an extra thumb wheel screw on there. There you go. So they were modding them way back. Obviously that's been on forever, isn't it? That's pretty cool, that. Right, let's see. I can get that back on now. Right, we'll muck about with that in a bit. The tailpiece, again. Oh, wow, that's so light. I got to weigh that. Yeah, 33 grams. It's the proper lightweight kit, isn't it? There you go. Right. Mini humbuckers. Mini humbuckers. Did a thing last week about mini humbuckers, didn't we? Let's take some pickup readings. Right, let's see. Slightly wobbly knob there. I think that just needs the nut tightening up. Right, let's start here. Bridge, mini humbucker, 6.22 kilo ohms. The inductance is 2.71. Neck, 6.41 kilo ohms. Inductance 2.68. They seem in good health, don't they? Together, 3.15k. There you go. Looks like these are just screwed directly to the body. Let's just have a look and see. Oh, I hope I don't break something. Should I just leave it alone? Sorry, I haven't got the nerve. I haven't got the nerve. Oh, honestly, I haven't got the nerve to pull that out and potentially fuck something up. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave the pickups. Sorry. Sorry. I don't think I'm qualified to no, I'm not going to do it. I'll tell you what I will do though. We'll have a look in here and we'll see if we can date it. Right, here we go. We've got screening on the control cover there and screening on the switch cover. Right, let's try and get a close up. Yeah, just a little quick shot at the switch there. Years of dust. I'm going to just try and blow that off. Okay, that came off. There's nothing much to see there, is there? Now, here, however, try not to get my head in the way. On this pot here, you can see the pot code, and it says 1377401. I think that is 1377401, which I think that means it was made in the first week of 74. first month, first week. No, first week I think it is, isn't it? 74. So that, it dates the pots at least as early 74. Beyond that, I'm just going to try and, oh yeah, that's brushing off nicely. Can't really work out any of the other stuff. These caps look like, are they original Mallory capacitors? They look like the things that Gibson are putting in their Inspired By series and calling them Mallory paper in oil in paper caps. That's what they look like, isn't it? I don't know. Anyone give me some intel on that? Oh, it's a very, very fine earth wire. Yeah, that's what it is. Apart from that, it all looks original. There you go. A bit of blowback there. Right. Now, the other thing I wanted to try and show you is I just put a black light on that headstock there. Well, let's put a black light on the guitar and see. I don't know if it'll come out on the cameras, so this is an experiment. Let's give it a go. First off, we'll just put the guitar like that. This is a black light. It's an ultraviolet light. You can get them on Amazon or eBay or whatever. That's what it looks like. Ultraviolet light, isn't it? Good for finding out if anyone's been murdered in the room you are, as well, if there's blood anywhere and stuff, I think. I've been watching too many crime clean-up shows. Right, I'm going to turn these lights off and see what happens. Right. Can you see me? Now, what happens? Oh, look. See, hopefully you can see that. It shows up ultraviolet. So, you know, if you get an old guitar and put a black light on it, it shows up green. And I can see, I don't know if you can see this very clearly, but those knobs are glowing bright green. It's all the guitars properly lighting up as it should. Look at that headstock, properly glowing green. Right, let's flip that. Hopefully you can see that. You can see a repair there. Yeah. Hopefully you can see that. There you go. You still can't make out what the serial number is, I don't think. But there's the break. And apart from that, it lights up brilliantly. I don't know how much you could see there, but I'm happy that it's all original, and you can see the break. The other thing that I don't know if you can see, it's very faint now, it's faded, but somebody signed this guitar years ago. It's just there. Oh, I don't think you can see that on the camera. I could see it clear on the green light, blue light, black light. What's wrong with me? There. Let's see if I can show you it. I don't know if you can see it. Very faint. It says to Susie. And somebody signed it. To Susie. So this guitar, I'm going to say, I don't really name my guitars, apart from old Stinky on the back wall there, but this is Susie now. This guitar's called Susie. Hello. Did not like that? Talking to me. Oh, I love old guitars. I love old guitars. And I won't tell you what I paid for it. I got a good deal. I mean, it's a player's guitar. It's cheaper than the custom shop. I mean, that's all I'm saying. It's cheaper than the custom shop guitar. Why would you go and buy a recreation of something when you can get, I mean, all right, you can't get a 58 Sunburst Les Paul for that sort of money, but you can get an authentic 70s guitar for well, so many guitars cost more than this nowadays. And I'm very lucky that I've got support on the channel. The last two raffles, the Les Paul, the Gibson Les Paul and the Gibson SG, I said, I'm going to get something nice to replace those. Here it is. What's that? I'll be doing, no, I won't be doing that. Right, there you go. Should we plug it in? Yeah. Let's plug it in, see what it sounds like. And have a bloody good wig out. See you in a minute. Right, here we go. That's what it sounds like unplugged. Same rig as always. I'm going to start with no pedals. If I use any, I'll show you, as always. So this is what it sounds like. I think that's as close as we're going to get. on that bum note, I think we'll leave it there. So that bit there was kind of, I had in my mind that Steve Hunter, who played with Mott the Hoople, and that bit there, that last bit was kind of inspired by the intro from Sweet Jane on Lou Reed's Rock and Roll Animal, which you've got to listen to because it's fucking amazing. It's a guitar duet, Dick Wagner and Steve Hunter. But actually, I don't think either of them played a Les Paul Deluxe, so I don't know what I was doing. I just thought, oh, that would be nice. And it kind of was. Before that, of course, is my tribute to Scott Gorham, Thin Lizzy, wasn't it? So I'm really tempting fate with the copyright gods this week. But I thought I'd have a go at that, and that was fun learning that. In my defence, yeah, my triplets, they weren't quite up to speed there. I spent honestly, this is the truth, I spent 2 hours the night before learning that bit. I thought, I'll learn that. But for me, I've got a short attention span. I nailed it a couple of times, but unfortunately not when I was recording. Good enough though, isn't it? Good enough. Showed you what the guitar sounded like. That's the point, isn't it, Cole? Yes, that's the point. Did you hear what the guitar sounded like? Yes, you did. It sounded fucking gorgeous, didn't it? That clean stuff at the beginning, really nice. These pickups, beautiful. Something about old guitars. I know people say, oh no, it's nonsense. There was a Rick Beato film recently with Tim Pierce and Paul Reed Smith, and they were talking about this. And Paul Reed Smith, he's got opinions, isn't he? And he just thinks it's nonsense, doesn't he? He thinks it's nothing to do with old guitars being better. His opinion was that they often sound better because they've been set up properly over the years. That was his opinion. I think it's bollocks, basically. I think old guitars sound better. I'm going to do a film about that at some point, and I'm going to... Well, actually, so now I'm tempted. I'm tempted now to get hold of a new one of these and do a comparison. What do you think? We could. I mean, it costs a lot of money, but I could then raffle it off, couldn't I? Get the money back and get some money back to invest in something else. Paying it forward. That's what we're trying to do here. What do you reckon? Should I? Tempt me. Should I try and get a brand new Les Paul Deluxe now? Compare it with this and see if there's any notable dissonance. Dissonance. Let me know. What do you think in the comments? But anyway, as this is a keeper, I'm not fucking raffling this one off, mate. I really love this guitar. Can you tell? Can you tell? I really love this guitar. But do you know what I was going to say as well? The necks are meant to be skinny around this time, 72. It's actually really nice. It's pretty skinny at the top, but it's got a lot of... It's nice down here. It's really nice. It feels really comfortable. Incidentally, I normally use 10 through 46 strings, but I put 9 through 42s on this because I didn't want to mess with the setup at this point, and I wasn't sure whether the nut, because I knew that it had lighter strings on it. That's the point. So I thought, let's go with what it had to start with, and until we get used to it. Not sure if the nuts kind of could cope with 10s at this point, and I don't want to start mucking around with it. My intention is to leave guitars as original as I possibly can, and the tuners incidentally were fine. They work perfectly well. So there's nothing to be changed there. This incidentally, what appears to be a crack there that you probably see, that's not the headstock break. That's just a lacquer crack. And incidentally, this is the book that I was talking about. The Les Paul guitar book by Tony Bacon, A Complete History of Gibson Les Paul Guitars. This is really good. I'll try and put a link to, I think I've got it on Amazon. I'll try and put a link to this. But it's got, yeah, it's a complete history. Tony Bacon's written loads of books about a lot of, well, Gibsons and Fenders. I don't know. But he's, you know, check him out. There's loads of info in here. And the bit that I was talking about the headstock logo, well, I got that wrong. I had in my mind that, if you can see that, you can see the top of the B and the O on this are joined. And that varies over the years, okay? And I had in my mind that in 75 it became unjoined again. It didn't. That didn't happen until 81, according to this. And the dot on the Gibson logo comes and goes. And another thing is, well, hang on, get the book. Look, get the book. It's interesting. There's a whole section on all sorts of things about how you date Les Pauls, the volutes, the Made in USA logo. Oh, hey, hang on. Yeah, hang on. From 70 to 75, Made in USA was stamped into the rear of the headstock. And you can vaguely see that that's got that stamp there. So I was almost right for the wrong reasons. So yeah, well, anyway, there you go. So I suppose it could be 75, you know, but it's, there you go, that's that. Are we done here? I think we are, actually. I've got any notes? No. Trying to get a copyright strike, yeah, did that. Really nice neck, did that. Yeah. Are they better than new? Should we find out? It's tempting, isn't it? There you go. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, as always. And come back next week and see what we're up to then. I'm not sure. For now, I just want to say thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching. I want to say thanks to Gear for Music for supporting this community. I want to say massive thanks to all the subscribers over on the guitaristas.tv channel who play a massive part in keeping this whole circle of guitars turning. Thank you guys. You know you are. And for now, I need to lie down. I'll see you later. I'm overexcited. Yeah. Come back next week. Same time, same place. See you then, I hope. Ta-ra.